Hey, what's going on, Scott? Hey, listen, brother, I love your enthusiasm, man. Okay, you're always trying to get a better mix, man, and that's what makes uh, making these videos enjoyable for me. Now, you hit on a question there that's just absolutely simplistic in its form, and it's going to be real hard for me to cram 45 years into this video, man, but vocals will either make or break the audio. Okay, and when I first started in this, I was taught very, very early into my career that you record properly so you can master lightly. What you don't want to do is you don't want to overprocess any audio track. But when it comes to the vocals, you really have to pay attention to this. Okay? Now, as Drew mentioned in his video, he would not start with that particular plugin. He would go back to EQ, and that's what we're going to do. Now, in Reaper, I've got a gate, I've got EQ, I've got a reverb, and then I've got a compressor. And this is all running into the X32 through X32 Edit through my point-to-point routing. Okay? So you're going to hear his breath on this particular vocal. And we're going to go through this, and I'm going to show you how I do it in Reaper. And then we're going to change that, how to do this in the X32 rack. All right, so let's go ahead and listen to it.
I don't want to be a fool flying into the hands of a window pane, telling all my old friends that I have left, how I lost my way. Feeling like a firefly working in the light of a sunny day, yelling at my old friends that I have left so they hear me say how I lost my way.
Okay, so you can hear the breathing there. I'm going to go ahead and turn the FX on, which right now the only thing I have is the gate set up. And that is simply going to take out the breathing. Okay, so let's go ahead and listen to it a little bit.
I don't want to be a fool flying into the hands of a window pane, telling all my old friends that...
Okay, as you can tell, all the breathing has now been removed. Okay, we have not altered the audio whatsoever. We haven't added any color to it. We haven't made it sound any different other than the dead spots, the open spots to where there's no audio coming in. Okay? So let's go ahead and bring up the EQ. And what I'm going to do, this is what they refer to as search and destroy. As I play this, I'm going to come through here and I'm going to exaggerate the boost. Okay? The first thing I'm going to do is take my bandwidth and I want to change it and get it just a little bit more narrow, as you can see. Okay? In the X32 rack, using X32 Edit, it's at the very bottom of the EQ. It's called the Q. Okay? That's what it's called. This slope, this mountain is your Q. So I'm going to get it up here and I'm going to play this. And I'm going to listen and see what stands out to me as being offensive or shouldn't be there. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that.
I don't want to be a fool flying into the hands of a window pane, telling all my old friends that I have left, how I lost my way. Feeling like a firefly working in the light of a sunny day.
Okay, now right there, that just, it does, I don't like the way it sounds. Okay, again, you put 10 mixing engineers in the same room, brother, and you're going to come up with 10 different ways of doing it. This is simply the way that I do it. Okay, so I'm going to start adjusting this now. Instead of going up, I'm going to narrow my Q. Okay, And I'm going to go in there and I want to affect the least amount of frequencies that I need to remove that. So just watch what I do.
I don't wanna be a fool flying into the hands of a window pane, telling all my old friends that I have left how I lost my way. Feeling like a firefly working in the light of a sunny day. Yelling at my old friends that I have left so they hear me say how I lost my way. I don't wanna be a fool flying into the hands of a window pane, telling all my old friends that I have left how I lost my way.
Okay, so I like that. To me, it's just taken off a little bit of that harshness. Okay? Remember, record properly, master lightly. As you can see, the only other thing we have on this EQ is our high pass filter, which is set around 107. Okay? So that's these first two plugins. So now let's go ahead and bring up the reverb.
I don't wanna be a fool flying into the hands of a window pane, telling all my old friends that I have left how I lost my way. Feeling like a firefly working in the light of a sunny day. Yelling at my old friends that I have left so they hear me say how I lost my way. I don't wanna be a fool flying into the hands of a window pane, telling all my old friends that I have left how I lost my way.
Okay? Now, when you start doing these reverbs, as you notice, I'm going to go through here and I'm going to start taking this off of the solo so I can listen to it within the rest of the mix. Okay? You always have to compare it within the rest of the mix. We've left all these on, and now let's get to the compressor.
I don't wanna be a fool flying into the hands of a window pane, telling all my old friends that I have left how I lost my way. Feeling like a firefly working in the light of a sunny day. Yelling at my old friends that I have left so they hear me say how I lost my way. I don't wanna be a fool flying into the hands of a window pane, telling all my old friends that I have left how I lost my way. Feeling like a firefly working in the light of a sunny day. Yelling at my old friends that I have left so they hear me say how I lost my way. I don't wanna be a fool flying into the hands of a window pane, telling all my old friends that I have left how I lost my way. Feeling like a firefly working in the light of a sunny day. Yelling at my old friends that I have left so they hear me say.
Okay, now that's with all the effects. Okay, all these plugins are turned on. I'm going to go ahead and turn them off, and let's listen to it one more time, and we're going to jump into X32 Edit.
I don't wanna be a fool flying into the hands of a window pane, telling all my old friends that I have left how I lost my way. Feeling like a firefly working in the light of a sunny day. yelling at my old friends that I have left so they hear me say how I lost my way.
Okay, so into X32 edit we go. Okay, so channel 18 is my vocal mic coming in. The first thing we're going to do is come up here on channel, our insert. If we were going to insert something, I think you were wanting to put the Combinator. See if we can go down here and find it. We're going to use the stereo Combinator. Right here, just insert. Okay. Make sure the power button is on. And then when I come back to the channel, I can come up here and I can insert it right there. If I wanted to insert this, we're not going to insert this. Okay. Now, the noise gate. It's always going to be the noise gate first. All right. I can't tell you what to set this at because I'm not listening to your audio recording. I'm going to set this up here around that -40. Now, on the insert, do you want to, if you do decide to do this, do you want that insert to go before the EQ or after the EQ? My line of thinking is always do your EQ first. Okay? Then, do you want your compressor to go before or after your EQ? Again, I like to EQ things first before I compress them. If there's something bad in there that I can take out, then that's what I want to do before I compress that down. Okay? So let's go ahead and play this. And I'm going to attempt to do the same thing in the X32 rack that we just did in Reaper. Okay? Okay, so we've got the audio coming in now. We've got a good clean signal. I can go over here and actually come to this channel. I can pull that down if we wanted to make it simulate like a live event. As long as we're not getting up there close to clipping, okay, we're going to go with this for the purpose of this video. So I'm going to bring up my EQ. Okay, now the first thing I'm going to do is engage that low cut filter. Now, if you look over here on the spectrogram, you'll see these black areas, which means there's not very much volume coming through there. That's what that means. Okay? So those frequencies aren't really being used that much. So I'm going to sit here and do the same thing. I'm going to turn this up, and I'm going to search for what I don't like. Okay? And it doesn't matter which band you use, because I'm not going to throw a lot of EQ on this. Now, there are times, if I was to come over here and load a preset, let's just go ahead and do that. The vocal, there we go. And I'm going to say I want to load it all. Okay, I'm not going to do the head amp configuration, and I'm not going to do this scribble strip, and I'm going to say load, and you'll see what it just changed on that EQ. Okay, so let's go ahead and listen to that with this EQ set.
Telling all my old friends that I have left how I lost my way. Feeling like a firefly working in the light of a sunny day. Yelling at my old friends that I have left so they hear me say.
Okay, now, I still hear that harshness in there. Presets are simply a starting point. They may work and they may not work. Okay, let me go ahead and take the spectrogram off. So I'm going to go ahead and reset this EQ. I'm going to turn it on, and I'm going to go search for those frequencies again.
Sunny day. Yelling at my old friends that I have left so they hear me say how I lost my way. I don't wanna be a fool flying into the hands of a window pane. Telling all my old friends that I have left how I...
Okay, well right there, again, to me, that's what sounds harsh. Okay? Now, down here, you'll see the Q I was talking about before. This is the Q, quality. Right over here, you'll see this Q. You can change it here, or you can grab this bar and you can change it here. Okay? So once I get it to where I want it as far as removing the frequencies, once I find that offensive frequency to me, then I'm going to cut that instead of boost it, and then I'm going to play with the Q. See right over here, Q-U-A-L. Okay? Watch what I do.
Old friends that I have left so they hear me say how I lost my way. I don't wanna be a fool flying into the hands of a window pane, telling all my old friends that I have left how I lost my way. Feeling like a firefly working in the light of a sunny day, yelling at my old friends that I have left so they hear me say how I lost my way.
Okay? Now I like that. All right? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring in the rest of the audio so I can listen to that EQ by turning it on and off.
Say how I lost my way. I don't wanna be a fool flying into the hands of a window pane, telling all my old friends that I have left how I lost my way. Feeling like a firefly working in the light of a sunny day, yelling at my old friends that I have left so they hear me say.
Okay? Now, for me, myself, I'm getting closer. I like that. Okay? Now, the only thing that I would have to do is come up here and add a little bit of reverb to it. We got this on bus 14. So I can come over to sends. I'm going to send this over to bus 14. Okay? And let's listen to it as we get through and see what it sounds like as I adjust this.
Yelling at my old friends that I have left so they hear me say how I lost my way. I don't wanna be a fool flying into the hands of a window pane, telling all my old friends that I have left how I lost my way. Feeling like a firefly working in.
Now, I like that. Okay? The one thing that I did not go over was the compressor. And there's a reason for that. Everything doesn't have to be compressed. Okay? You should only use these effects when you need to. Now, his vocal range, I mean, this is a professional guy here. You know, he's studied music. He knows how to make his vocal range come through with the least amount of work, you know, that needs to be done to it. So let's go ahead and I'm going to solo this back out, and then we'll jump into this compressor, and then we'll A and B it. Okay?
Working in the light of a sunny day, yelling at my old friends that I have left so they hear me say how I lost my way. I don't wanna be a fool flying into the hands of a window pane, telling all my old friends that I have left how I lost my way. Feeling like a firefly working in the light of a sunny day, yelling at my old friends that I have left so they hear me say how I lost my way. I don't wanna be a fool flying into the hands of a window pane, telling all my old friends that I have left how I lost my way. feeling like a firefly working in the light of a sunny day.
Now, as you can tell, to me, I don't notice a whole lot of difference on that. But one thing I can tell you, you don't ever want to compress your vocals more than 6 dBs, okay? You'll start getting that artificially twang. And it's very, once you learn this, once you learn to hear it, this is done with your ears, brother, okay? Once you learn to hear that, you'll know instantly that somebody overcompressed their vocals. A good ratio is 3-to-1, 2-to-1. If I was going to master this track in Reaper on my master FX chain, I'm set around the negative 1.5. Or I'm sorry, a 1.5 on my ratio. The gain that I'm adjusting, I'm just trying to line it back up from my input to my output signal. Okay, I want to keep those around the same. And that tells me that whatever I've compressed, I've just brought that overall level back up again. Okay, so we've got the compressor on, we've got the EQ on, and we come back to the gate. I'm going to bring this up, like I said, to around a negative 40. I'm going to release this, and then we're going to, instead of you using that one that that you wanted to use, we're gonna try a different one and see, just see what you think of it, okay? So I'm going to bring all the tracks back up, and then I'm going to add on the stereo enhancer, and I'm going to start playing with these frequencies. And this is going to give us our lows, our mids, and our highs. Just remember, when you come in here and you start running these EQs, and you use something like that at the very end, regardless of what you have in here, okay, if I reduce the range here, and I come in there and boost it when it's going, right before it hits the mains, that's what's going to have control over it. In other words, these two will be fighting each other. And that's where you get into this over-processing. And everybody goes, well, it's got this, so I've got to add it. Well, it's got this effect, so I've got to use it. And that's the wrong way to approach this. The only time you use these is when you need to, okay? Always use a low cut on every single channel. Add some reverb in there to your vocals, even your instruments, if it makes it sound, overall better coming out. Other than that, it's got all the bells and whistles, but it doesn't mean you have to blow them all at the same time. Okay? So let's go ahead. I'm going to turn this back on, and we're going to come up here and we're going to play with this last one.
I lost my way, feeling like a firefly working in the light of a sunny day, yelling at my old friends that I have left so they hear me say how I lost my way. I don't want to be a fool flying into the hands of a window pane, telling all my old friends that I had left how I lost my way, feeling like a firefly working in the light of a sunny day, yelling at my old friends that I have left so they hear me say how I lost my way. I don't want to be a fool flying into the hands of a window pane, telling all my old friends that I had left how I lost my way, feeling like a firefly working in the light of a sunny day, yelling at my old friends that I have left so they hear me say how I lost my way. I don't wanna be a fool flying into the hands of a window pane, telling all my old friends that I had left how I lost my way,
So I hope this has helped. Okay, I hope this has helped out some. I know it's not on your particular effect that you were wanting to use, but like I said, as Drew mentioned, that's not where he would start to begin with. Okay, because I can do that. I can come right over here to this channel. And let's go ahead and go back up to effects. Right there's the stereo combinator. Okay, I can come over here to this channel. I can insert it. Right there it is. I can turn it on. Now I can tell, do I want it to come in before the EQ and compressor? Well, no, not really. Again, I like to do my EQing first, then I compress it, and then I add my effects. So I would have it like this. Okay, then we come up, we pop it out, and there we go. Let's just play around with it for a second.
Telling all my old friends that I have left, how I lost my way. Feeling like a firefly working in the light of a sunny day. Yelling at my old friends that I have left so they hear me say how I lost my way. I don't wanna be a fool flying into the hands of a window pane. Telling all my old friends that I have left, how I lost my way. Feeling like a firefly working in the light of a sunny day. Yelling at my old friends that I have left so they hear me say how I lost my way. I don't wanna be a fool flying into the hands of a window pane. Telling all my old friends that I have left, how I lost my way.
All right, so I hope this has cleared some stuff up for you, man. All right, take care. God bless. Bicycle.